I don't think any of us did,
No.
actually. You know, HBO spend a great deal of money putting production values on a television screen that you are more likely to see in the cinema. So for those reasons, you know, we just felt the thing was pretty good, but none of us knew that it was going to take off to be the most successful television series ever made, which is what it is.
I was completely blindsided by season 2 of House of the Dragon, and no, it wasn't that good way when something shocking happens, but it all makes sense when you take into account the characters and the development of the story. And with George's recent justified attack against Ryan Condal in the show and his blog, we've never seen the A Song of Ice and Fire world in a more perilous spot when it comes to the future of the franchise. Game of Thrones was so impactful and popular that even despite its terrible ending that around 70% of the audience disapproved of, there were still millions of fans willing to give a new series a chance, which the season 1 success of House of the Dragon demonstrated. But now, the wheels have quickly come off.
History will paint you a villain.
Let them think what they must. I am at last myself, with no ambition greater than to walk where I please and to breathe the open air, to die unremarked and unnoticed.
At this point, I wish the show could go unnoticed, but we have to suffer through 2 more seasons of this soap opera level nonsense. So, how can A Song of Ice and Fire be revived? You might be thinking it's the upcoming The Night of the Seven Kingdoms series that George is the head writer for. And while I think that one should be good, I wonder if the audience for it will be as large as it was for the first 2 series. It sort of has this niche feel of Breaking Bad spin-off Better Call Saul, a show critically acclaimed but not as widely watched. The real potential savior for the franchise is the Aegon's Conquest series that's in development. George has been working very closely with Mattson Tomlin on the project. And I know, some people are already rolling their eyes and saying, yeah, he did the same thing with Condal. He trusted Ryan and then got the Brutus treatment. But hold on just for a second. Tomlin was the co-writer for the Batman film, which Robert Pattinson starred in, and he's now the head writer for the sequel. So he has the credentials, but even more importantly, he's saying all the right things about how he's approaching the Aegon's Conquest project. Let's take a look at what Tomlin said in a recent interview in The Hollywood Reporter. Going and meeting him, I just had to be honest. I've read your books, I've seen the shows, and I'm not an encyclopedia of it. I've only come to this as somebody wanting to be entertained, and now I'm coming to it as a potential creator. And in doing so, I feel like it's incumbent upon me to acknowledge that you're the one that's done all of this. We're all here because of you, dude. I really take what he says as God is speaking to me. I really do, because at the end of the day, any question that I could have, anything I don't understand, there's a guy who has the answer. This is what any story of George's world needs, someone who recognizes that the only way to appropriately tell the tale is to recognize that Martin is the navigator. Tomlin goes on to say, I'm in the middle of writing the pilot now. I'm in touch with George all the time, and I feel really, really lucky to just have the God of this world in my text. And I can shoot him a text and go, what does this mean? Please help me. And then he will send me an encyclopedia of information. So it's all with respect and reverence, and just what I want more than anything is to get to make this show and have it be something that he's extremely proud of. With House of the Dragon having its own separate bizarro world agenda that has no relation to Martin's intent in Fire and Blood, it's encouraging and uplifting to see that Mattson Tomlin gets it. He's not trying to make Aegon's Conquest his own. He's doing the right thing. He's making it what it should be, a television adaptation of George's vision. What's even more encouraging, too, is that in a separate interview, Tomlin gave a more detailed account of how he's writing the series. He said, I've now gotten to spend quite a bit of time with him, and there have been a lot of pinch me moments of just kind of going through Fire and Blood, highlighting passages and asking him, what did this mean? What's this? What I think it is, sometimes really grilling him, going, I don't understand what's happening here. And then other times going, I think that it could mean this. But it's really taking that text and treating it like it's a real history. This is the approach that we were hoping that in the wake of the Game of Thrones ending, that Condal would take. And I know some people out there will remain skeptical, and I don't blame you. But with such an incredibly disappointing and poorly written season 2 of House of the Dragon, I wanted to find a silver lining here. We desperately need something positive. Because in the end, while we want to see George's world adapted on screen, it has to be done right or not at all. And if we don't hold creators accountable for willful distortions of the source material and adapting their own agenda instead of the author's, then television and film will continue to play to the lowest common denominator. So here's to Mattson, Tomlin, and George taking one more roll of the dice and finally and fully getting it right this time. If you enjoyed this one, make sure to hit the like button. If you're interested in more on House of the Dragon and A Song of Ice and Fire, listen to Caraxes and subscribe. I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you soon.